Hey guys, K420 back at it again. Now I get this countdown thing. All right, back with one that you may not think I would have covered, but again, the news that you don't pay attention to is the news that is most important. The news that they are not splashing across the bottom of the screen 24/7 on CNN. That's the stuff that you need to go, wow, I haven't heard about that. Why? Okay, let's talk about Uganda. Uganda has always been a source of gold. It's not as if gold wasn't mined in Uganda. But let's talk about Uganda now. Okay, 31 million metric tons. That's what I want you to think about that. What? How big is 31 million metric tons? It's about 320,000 tons of refined gold, and it was found in the Republic of Uganda. So the question that most of us in the West are asking is, well, how long until Uganda needs a little democracy? Because, every time a huge amount of any real type of resource, whether it be oil, gold, uh, there's a certain mineral they use to make the chips in our phones with, and it's mined in certain countries. And so it's like the UN and the West will invade every country and say they need democracy, that they're not being fairly governed over in order to what? To take over this resource. So Uganda has found 31 million metric tons of gold ore. This is according to its first calculations about worth over about $20 trillion. So it seems to be a lot of people are thinking the same thing, like, oh boy, this is a country that can't really handle finding this resource and being able to actually get what they're deserved for that resource to take care of their people with. No, they'll probably be now falsely invaded, and they will say that there's already been things happening regarding the use of mercury in mining and gold mining in these countries, and that's like these people are being poisoned by it, and it doesn't matter to them. It's the only way they can bring home any type of income is by mining, and and to get the small amounts of gold, mercury is required, and even though it is a poisonous thing that's hurting them, they want that choice. So anyway, it says over the last 2 years, aerial exploration was done to the country, followed by geophysical and geochemical surveys and analysis. Solomon Muita, spokesperson for the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, told Reuters. It says, Moita says, I told you about 31 million tons of ore. Most of the deposits were discovered in Karamoja, a parched, sprawling area in the country's northeastern corner on the border of Kenya. Large reserves were also found in the eastern, central, and western areas of East Africa. Moita said that. Now, this is where we need to start talking about this. We'll get back to this towards the end of this video. Wagagi, a Chinese company, has set up a mine in Busha in eastern Uganda and was expected to start production this year. Wagagi has invested over 200 million, and its mine will have a refining unit. So they'll be refining the gold right there, and Wagagi has already invested 200 million. China is not playing. China is taking over the resources at the same time as they are doing what they are doing with the West, this war, this economic war with the West. Has been big. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just reading to see if there's anything more important, but no, not on this page. So we're gonna move on really quick. And I don't know if anybody here watches Jim Dore, but if you don't, you should. And I'm not gonna bite off his entire video, obviously, but I think that not only is some comments worth reading, but so is the first minute of his video. Hold on.
Oh, gold? Uganda discovers gold deposits worth 12 trillion US dollars.
20. Now they're saying
And kept that under their hat a little bit.
Yeah, maybe you keep that a little bit of a secret because now the United States is going to be forced to bring the people of Uganda
come on.
some democracy.
Well, yes, apparently.
It's coming.
Did they take down Chelsea Handler's "Uganda Be Kidding Me" special?
This is from Uganda Investment Authority. Mining in Uganda, groundbreaking ceremony of Busia's gold mine project, largest gold deposit so far, quantified in Uganda, estimated at 12.5 tons of mineable gold. Investor Wagagi's initial investment is $50 million and 3,000 direct jobs.
So,
if this isn't...
I don't want to steal off Jimmy, but it says I read the entire wealth of the world is 75 trillion. God protect the people of Uganda from crooks burying democracy. Amen to that. Uganda is on the list for some good old democracy and freedom. I really I'm not trying to joke about this, but God darn it, I wanted to see more comments. There we go. Hang on. There are obvious human rights violations going on in Uganda, and we, the West, have to intervene and establish democracy in this place. These are the things you are going to hear in the next 1 to 5 years regarding Africa, in Uganda especially. The U.S. will be like, Uganda is planning to possess weapons of mass destruction, and we will teach them a lesson. Amen. That'll happen too. China and NATO are on their way. You know it. Democracy coming to Uganda soon. These are people everywhere who know what our go-to playbook is when it comes to a third world country finding a large amount of mineral deposits, and how large world countries like us, first world countries like us, step in and try to basically act as though we're there to save somebody, but we're actually there to steal yours. The one thing that you could actually have that could bring you to a first world countries type economic situation. And in Uganda, this would bring them. If I gotta find it here, but I believe what they said, this would bring them into like a middle class type thing, where they would have a middle class finally.
It's like, this is going to bring us into the modern world. We're going to have a middle class. That's what I read. By going to the middle income status and beyond. That's what it looks like to me.
It says, if this is indeed the volume we have, it is time to clean our house and do business in developing ourselves as a country by going to the middle income status and beyond, says the mineral development expert. It's a bid to boost the country's economy. The Ugandan government has licensed the Wagagi Gold Mining Company of China to start producing gold products in Busia. Okay, so there you go. That's what I'm talking about. They are expecting this to create a middle class in their country. We know that's not going to happen if any single first world country has a hand in it, including China. This is Vlad. I honestly didn't even check this out. I'll only bite a minute of it because I don't want him copywriting me. So there we go. Oops! No. Come on. Sorry, guys. There we go.
Here is your late. Latest African news. Uganda. Uganda announces discovery of huge gold deposits. Uganda has announced that it has struck a deposit of 31 million tons of gold ore, with extractable pure gold estimated to gross 320,000 tons. President Museveni broke news of the find in his State of the Nation address yesterday, but provided little detail, pointing in general that it would fetch the country more than $12 trillion. Technocrats in the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, Mr. Museveni noted, had informed cabinet that the country was positioned to get slightly under 700 million in royalty payments, with the investors poised to cash in on the windfall. Citing 6 local gold refineries, among them Africa Gold Refinery in Entebbe, that the United States sanctioned in March over illicit sources of its gold, the president declared that the time for Uganda to ship unprocessed exports is over. The volume of the reserve is estimated at 31 million tons of gold ore, or net 320,158 tons of gold, valued at $12.8 trillion, according to a document prepared by the Line Ministry. Uganda's gold exports have been on the rise since opening the Africa Gold Refinery in Entebbe, according to official records. For instance, in 2019 and 2020, the country exported gold worth $1.9 billion to the United Arab Emirates, $1.4 billion to South Korea, and $28.7 million to Hong Kong. In contrast, Uganda.
Okay, so you get where I'm going. This could be huge for Uganda. Just know that China is waiting right there to take it. China is taking over Africa's resources one country at a time. It's a new imperialism, and I'm not going to read this huge long article to you. It is very important for you to do your own research. However, I'm just going to tell you, trade in between China and Africa has grown from 10 billion in the year 2000, to 190 billion by 2017. It's estimated that 12% of Africa's production, or 500 billion annually, is all carried out by Chinese firms. Okay? Not US firms. That could be our business. China is one country at a time, one third world country at a time, stepping in, investing their own money in to start up the Buja gold mine, and that will be their way in. They will have a better chance than the UN and the US to take that gold from Uganda. Not that anyone should have a right, but just while everybody's looking at US and UN to go in there and say democracy, democracy, China's already in there saying, CCP, CCP, the whole way. The whole way. And best believe they're scrambling to mine the entire, more than 25-fold jump in investment in just 10 years. That's how fast China is gaining control over Africa's mining industry, and Beijing's push is not ending anytime soon. China's monopoly on rare earth materials is a critical national security risk. The sooner that the U.S. and its allies free themselves from the dependence on China, the sooner they will free themselves from the CCP's ability to hold defense production hostage. Well, 80% of all rare earth supplies come from China. That's unacceptable. We all know what happened during the pandemic. We all know that during the pandemic, China threatened to cut off a lot of stuff. They did cut off a lot of stuff. For our military, they've even messed with things right here. It's having cut off supplies that could have a serious negative impact on U.S. defense readiness, meaning the high-tech F-35 stealth fighter contains 920 pounds of these elements. Each Air Lee Burke-class destroyer has 5,200 pounds, and a Virginia-class submarine 9,200 pounds of these metals that China has threatened to cut off. We are trying to become independent of them at the same time as they are taking over every third world country and mining their metals. So it's going to be a race to the end to see who can basically steal this from Uganda. And unfortunately, I hope that I hope that neither one of those things happen. I hope that the people of Uganda actually get to have an economy that is somewhat a beginning for them, a middle class, whether it looks like our middle class or their own version of a middle class. They are the ones mining that every day with their hands. They are the ones that deserve to see the benefit from that hard work. Have a great day.